Whenever you're ready.
In opposition to the claim that we should pass the DREAM Act because it would help the country, the negative side claims that the DREAM Act would actually harm the country. The affirmative side states that the DREAM Act would grant certain undocumented students permanent residency in the U.S. and provide a path to citizenship, but fails to state that the harm that it does to U.S. citizens. To apply that, existing sources and education available to undocumented students will make resources more limited. Gary Kerberg of the Epoch Times states that the more people we have to provide for, the less resources we will have available to provide for citizens alone. And for the higher education, for LAO higher education, they state that expanded eligibility for financial aid programs is estimated to cost about $65 million in state funding once fully implemented. Also in Free Republic magazine, Stephen Camarado says that lawmakers need to consider the strains that the DREAM Act will create, and will create an impact of adding roughly 1 million students to state universities and community college on educational opportunities available to American citizens. Henceforth, it makes sources more scarce and unavailable for U.S. citizens alone. Although undocumented students have a hard time finding good paying jobs after graduating with degrees, firms and companies do not hire undocumented students to protect the priority of a U.S. citizen from not being able to get a job. Hiring undocumented graduates is similar to outsourcing before we actually see what America has available already within its borders. These jobs should remain offered to American citizens only because we simply cannot provide for an impacted population. Dick Durbin, a representative of Illinois who stands no on the DREAM Act, statistically proves that the DREAM Act would lead to further overpopulation and crowding of American cities by showing that the available open space for settlement in the U.S. can only provide for 37% of the potential immigration that will occur after passing the DREAM Act. The other 63% will end up in poverty, jobless, or an advocator to violence. The amount of financial aid given nationwide will decrease, forcing all students to receive less or no financial aid. The Student Education Rights of California states that the California DREAM Act of 2011 consists of 2 bills. These bills were effective January 1st, 2012, and it allows students attending the University of California who are exempt from paying non-resident tuition under another law, and who are eligible for federal financial aid to be eligible to receive an undergraduate DREAM Act scholarship, which is a scholarship from a private non-state fund, but statistics show that out-of-state funding, like such, decreases the amount of in-state tuition by 59%. To refute her inherency, the opponent claims that the current immigration system is what causes harm. It is a false accusation considering the fact that immigration laws are set to help the U.S. by refraining from issues due to overpopulation. Overpopulation will eventually cause decay to America, for when Senator Dick Durbin expresses that immigration laws refrain from terrorists, drug dealers, and other foreign enemies will exploit any open border or amnesty policies put in place. The Daily Titan says, according to the recent Los Angeles Times article, the state deficit is projected to reach over $28 billion by the end of the next year, which is, with such a large deficit, CSUs are becoming more overpopulated, extremely understaffed, and are continuing to cut back on their distribution of financial aid without any signs of slowing down. Scarcity in resources will increase as well. Balanced Politics, an online political journal, states that the program would add millions of people to welfare rolls who consume government resources such as healthcare, social security, and education while paying little or no taxes. Thus, out-of-control government deficits would be pushed further to the edge of bankruptcy. Advocates of the DREAM Act argue that it will significantly increase tax revenue in the long run. Once they have a college education, recipients will earn more and pay in taxes over their lifetime. However, several factors need to be considered when evaluating this argument. First, any hope for tax benefit will come from a long term and will not help public institutions deal with the large influx of new students the Act would create in a relatively short period of time. Given the limited space of public institutions, the DREAM Act will almost certainly cause wrong crowding of legal immigration and U.S. Illegal immigrants and U.S. citizens, reducing their lifetime earnings and tax payments. Further, because the DREAM Act requires nothing more than 2 years of college, the income and resulting tax revenue will be small. Census Bureau's data shows that the income gains for having some college but no degree are modest. Also, because college dropout rates are high for all students, many illegal immigrants who enroll at public institutions will not complete the 2 years the Act requires in such cases. Taxpayers will bear the tuition expenses without the hope for fiscal benefit.